What it look like? Oh.
Oh, hey.
It's us. In the flesh.
Us in the flesh.
In the blood.
And blood.
We're physically here to talk to you.
We got
to podcast.
That's right. We were wanting to get video on the first one, but we were also sort of figuring out this new system. So now we have video. As you can see, we've got this gorgeous set.
Yeah, That Was Men is back in, epic fashion, I feel, We got video. It's a new age.
That's
new
right.
Year.
We got some fun props. As we got some water. Got our audio system here. Our whole audio team is back there.
Yeah, there's like 20 dudes
monitoring everything.
They're all great guys. Thanks, dudes. Thanks.
And then I use this to get their attention when they're messing up. So I'm like, Brad, put down your coffee and get back to work, Brad. Do you have to call your mother again, Bradley? Get back to work. And we just have a really friendly relationship like that. But yeah, we're back, bigger and better. And we got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, well, I guess first agenda, the recommendations from last week.
You haven't seen...
I failed.
I
didn't get the chance to see Synecdoche, New York. But this week, for sure.
For sure, this week.
I'll find the time. Okay. I will have the time.
Well, you're just going to have double homework then, because I got another recommendation.
Alright.
So.
That's all we do.
Well, but you listened to the music.
Yes,
you did listen to
it was
the album.
the Pine Groves album. Oh, it was
Skylight by Pine.
Yeah,
Pine
I liked the song Portal.
Portal, yeah.
That was very good, and I also liked Rings. That first track on the album really opens it up really good. But it's also I like the whole album. It's one of those albums you could just shuffle. And everything, it's one of those albums where everything sounds the same, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like the whole album really has a completeness, and it doesn't get old. It's just a good sound. I
noticed. Yeah, you can really kind of interchange it a lot.
Yeah.
Any song can go. It's all, I think, not in the same key, but it's all really similar keys.
Yeah.
Where it's all kind of similar, but that's in a good way. It's
it's a very nice little package, all inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But a good album. If you guys haven't listened to it, definitely.
Yeah, they got a new album out like a week or two ago. On the same day Mac Miller's new album came out. So that sort of, that blew up. Which was also a great album. We won't recommend that because we've both heard it. So
yeah, I probably did the whole Catholic thing wrong. But
it's like that, right?
I don't know which left,
I'm
right,
not Catholic,
right,
but
left, down, up, right.
I think it's up,
Hey,
down,
in the comments if you're
left,
Catholic.
Yeah.
Let us know. Up, down, left, right.
Up, down, left, right. One of those.
Konami code for doing your prayer signs.
Getting extra lives in Street Fighter.
Yeah. What if you saw the priest, the Pope? He was doing the Konami code. He was like up, down, left, right, left, right, left, right.
That's what they're doing the whole time. This is how you get eternal life. Is the Konami code?
Yeah, you gotta use the Konami code.
I did my homework. Like a good boy. I watched both your film and listened to your whole album. I guess I'll talk about the album first. The Suburbs by Ya Boys, Arcade Fire. I love this album. I've been listening to it a whole lot recently. I liked the first couple, Ready to Start, and The Suburbs, the title track.
Yeah, of course.
Really great. Kind of, some vibey songs. Nice little upbeat stuff. I noticed Ready to Start has like the same exact instrumentals as this song. I went to see a band live in the summer, and they were playing a song, and I was listening to The Suburbs, and I was like, that sounds exactly like that song. Except they wrote that song like 2 years ago, and The Suburbs came out in like 2010, so I think they might have ripped off. I don't know.
Yeah, The Suburbs, man. Woo.
Suburbs is good. I liked...
There's some lines in on that album, like a few lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think one lyric he says, "I want a daughter while I'm still young.
Yeah,
I want to hold her hand before the damage is done." That one is like, wow, that's.
I like that. I liked. It was Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2. Am I saying that? What's the one? You know what I mean? The second one, Sprawl. Sprawl 2.
Yeah.
or yeah, that one. That was a sick song because it's all synth. You know, I love my synths.
Yeah.
That was a great album. Empty Room is really good. City with No Children is kind of a bop.
It's a little tear-jerky album.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
It's got some emotional. I haven't listened too much into the lyrics. I've just kind of been like, vibing to the music. Speaking of synths and that vibe I like, I watched your film, The Lure.
Yeah.
Polish? Swedish?
Polish. Yes.
Okay. I watched it's Polish.
Which one was your favorite?
The Lure of the Suburbs?
No. Which one of the two mermaids in the
two
Lure
mermaids
was your favorite?
See, I was going back and forth on that.
Because the girl with the black hair is actually she's like my queen. She's a goddess.
Yeah, at first I was like, the blonde one. When I saw her in the water, I was like, bruh, okay. Because I think the one with black hair comes out with this really creepy smile. And I was like, F no, dude.
Yeah.
And then I watched the rest of the movie. And then the one with black hair, I was like...
I'm kind of like into the whole, scary
yeah.
aspect.
Well, I just... Yeah. Anyway. Good movie. I gave it like a 4 out of 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I liked the music. At some points, it was like a little, like, should they?
Yeah, like in the grocery store.
The grocery store. That was the one I was like, okay.
There's a scene. It's by no accounts does it even like at any point kind of tell you it's a musical or like set off that vibe. So like there's some musical numbers and you're just like, oh.
Well, it's musical. A lot of the musical numbers are just playing a song on stage.
Yeah.
And so when this one happened, right at the start, I was like, whoa, okay, all right, it's one of these musicals, and then it isn't for the rest of the time, so...
They just have one of those songs that was just like a scene from La La Land, and then they're like, all right.
Yeah.
Moving past that.
But I liked the ending a lot.
That freaking blonde prick boy, I hate him.
Dude looked like that one dude from Austin Alley. The Disney show.
Yeah. I was like, he looks familiar, but he's Polish.
I don't think he's that guy. Well, clearly he's not. He's Polish.
No, but yeah, when she ripped his throat out, I was like, screw that guy, man.
Or just like the second mermaid, the one that turns into bubble bath.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna live in the moment and like not eat him. I thought that was nice. That's a nice little moment. But of course, it's like a fantasy horror type of deal, so of course the dude's gonna die.
Also, I kind of wanted him to die.
I wanted him to die
what
too.
he did to her, he just left her, man. Like that was some hardcore. Like wow, that's like.
Yeah, pretty gross movie at times.
Yeah, when he cuts him in half.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
I was expecting that when I first saw it.
But yeah, it was a good time if you can find it. I rented it. I know it's a Criterion thing, so if you have Criterion, I'm sure you can watch it or you've heard of it. I personally rented it, but anyway, that was my thoughts on that.
And one more thing about it. That movie I like because there's like a few parts. There's like 4 or 5 parts throughout the whole movie just scattered in there where very open-ended scenes we don't really know what happened in a scene. Or like it doesn't directly like tell you something, it just kind of moves on with it.
Yeah.
But not in a like a accidentally, we forgot to shoot that or something way. It's kind of like an intentional like
which
holding back.
I can't remember too well.
I know when they're kind of passed out in the room and you don't really know what the guy did to him and what he like and then throughout the movie you never really find out like what exactly was he doing and like what made like one of the sisters they hate the creepy club owner and all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
also noticed like one of them grew more fishy slits at one point.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why is there like 10 now?
I don't know. I watched it like a week ago, so I don't have too much direct memory, but I remember a few things.
So a lot of mermaid themed movies lately. The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
The Lure.
Lighthouse, Lure, Shape of Water ish.
Yeah. Just a lot of. Yeah, sexual fish is big these last few years.
Time of day.
I think I'm gonna leave it on that. I think the new trend is sexual fish.
I don't know why, dude. Shark Tale messed this up, man. Yeah.
Shark Tale, man.
I'm not bringing up Shark Tale. I brought it up one time. I can't say one thing. That's all our recap for last week's recommendations. Shout out.
Shout out coronavirus.
No, not shout out coronavirus. What are you talking about?
The news, right? You want to branch out? No, I'm kidding.
Sure,
I don't want to talk about the coronavirus.
I don't have anything to say about the coronavirus.
It's
a new disease.
Sick.
And it's in China, and it's kind of here. It's like,
sick.
It's sick.
Sick.
It's the number one thing I can tell you about the coronavirus. I don't know. One thing I wanted to talk about was the state of Lucasfilm and Disney. Because...
did you hear the rumors?
A little bit, yeah. There's like all the script issues and all the stuff they did with JJ. And
that's actually a beefy subject. There's a whole saga.
There's a whole lot of stuff.
Happened.
We don't have to go into everything, but I was just thinking because Star Wars came out 2 months ago. It's February, by the way, when we're recording this.
And like there's still like stuff coming out like it's still like pretty like it hasn't died down though, the conversation and all that stuff around it.
I think a lot of that is the actors like just they're like free now to say whatever they want. So like Oscar Isaac and John Boyega especially have been very like vocal about they did some stupid sneeze.
I don't know, man. The director's cut is real, and I think we might get it. I think there might be enough, like, just, like, momentum and visceral rage coming from the internet that they can't...
You think there's going to be a JJ cut?
I don't think it's going to be, like... I don't know if I trust, what people are saying, like, oh, he planned to have, like, footage of Qui-Gon and Anakin and all them, like, fighting, all the Sith and all the Jedi. Like, I don't, because I don't think they would have cut that out. Yeah. I do think they added some contextual stuff and some other stuff that probably paced it out a lot better. It's probably a lot longer movie, but it probably made sense and was well done. Because everything they had was good. It was just the execution because it was like it got Suicide Squadded basically. The whole movie got Suicide Squadded just to a lesser degree. Yeah,
I can see that. And just like, it's really clear. You can see a lot of tie-ins with Disney with other stuff like Marvel. Yeah. Or even their own movies.
Like the Iron Man cameo was pretty crazy in Episode 9.
That was insane.
When
he comes back from the dead and does
Iron Man. And just
he snaps again. It's just the scene from Endgame. Yeah. They don't edit it. No. He's still on the planet.
Ray just morphs into Tony Stark.
By the way, come on, Disney. How are you going to have 2 saga-ending movies in the same year where the main character... to the villain's like, I am this, and the villain says, or the hero says, and I am this. How are you going to have 2 movies that do the same thing?
You're right.
Endgame was perfect, by the way. That was perfect, because Thanos says, I am inevitable earlier. You don't think about it too much. Says it again, and then he says, and I am Iron Man. And that's a perfect callback to, like, the first movie. Like, that is done really well, and I love that. But why does race... Palpatine, I am the Sith, and I am all the Jedi.
I don't know.
Shut up, Ray.
I really don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so I think it got butchered in the editing room. Mm-hmm. We might get something that, at least you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. And like, I think a lot of the problems people had will be cleared up, like objective problems. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's makes sense. Like, oh, we have context for this situation now. Oh, okay, this doesn't feel as jarring and quick-paced. Or
I don't know. We'll have to see.
But then there's Daddy George.
Papa George.
Papa wanted to come back and take the reins again.
Oh, yeah, I heard
I
about
don't really like what you're doing with my Star Wars. I might get back in
But would George make it better? Do you think if George directed Episode 9, it would be better?
I mean, yeah. I think that what we have is an opportunity. Because I think, George made the prequels and then saw, after the prequels, everyone was like, and he kind of got his feelings hurt and he was like, oh man, no one likes my movies, because it was just kind of just like his vision, like solely his vision. But I feel like he would learn now to because he doesn't like directing movies, so I think he might learn to take a more back seat and let someone else do the directing while he's just kind of like the ideas guy. I think that's what he wants anyway. Like that's what he's been doing with Favreau and all the good all the Star Wars stuff that's on like good terms with him.
Right.
Is doing well. And
like the Mandalorian and stuff like that. Yeah.
But also like it kind of makes sense that if Disney was just kind of ditched like what George had in mind, it's like makes sense.
I don't blame them initially because they were like, well, if you come back, you might make the prequels again, and people really don't like those. Yeah. We're trying to get people hyped about Star Wars again. Which, by the way, I think people were hyped about Star Wars even before Disney took over. Because the Clone Wars was out, and that's a great show. And it was still, like, people watched that a lot, I think it was just, like, getting back into a mainstream Star Wars thing. Lego Star Wars games were out. That's not even a joke. Like, literally. Like, those games did really well.
They did.
Anyway, I think just like and like appealing to like China. What am I saying?
China.
Why did I bring that up?
I don't know.
Oh, because of the like same-sex kiss that's in the movie.
Oh
and
yeah,
they edited out for China because they're like their biggest funder. Like all the money comes from China global box office.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, Disney. Come on. People should go see Star Wars.
Bob Igor.
Igor,
dude. Yeah, that guy's a dumb poo-poo head. Apparently, here's a cool thing. George's plan for the sequels. What? No, yeah. For what he wanted, like, the sequels. Is he kind of wanted to get a little more into, like, the metaphysics of Star Wars with, like, kind of, like, the gods and, like, forces that, like, drive the universe and, like, the Force and fate and the stuff. And I was like, oh, no, sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty wild and wacky. Here's a question, though. Why does everyone get upset about Midichlorians, exactly? Like...
I think it's because, like, the Force was this vague thing that didn't really have a set. There was, like, when you put Midichlorians into it, I think it becomes like, oh, well, you were born with X amount, therefore you already have it, rather than the Force is around everybody, So it's like, oh, you only got so many, like, oh, you have so many, like, it's this one thing. The Force is just this vague kind of concept, and people liked that. More than you were born with this many, so you are good at this.
Yeah.
And I agree. I'm not a big fan of midichlorians. Kind of takes the mystery out of the Force.
Yeah. Yeah, that way I always thought it was just kind of like a throwaway line. It never really pissed me off because I'm like, it's a throwaway line.
It made me
angry. It doesn't change anything about how anything in Star Wars works.
And the thing is, I rewatched the prequels recently. Like, to prep for Rise of Skywalker. I was going to watch all the Star Wars movies. Only got to the prequels, ironically. Ironic. That's a Palpatine meme. Ironic. But I watched those, and Qui-Gon's, like, the only one that ever mentions midichlorians, and it's only the first one. So my theory is that it's kind of, like, of course, like, in the real world, we have theories about things. I think Qui-Gon was just this radical dude.
Yeah. Well, he was a radical hippie Jedi, kind of.
He was like, I have a theory about the Force. I think it's a new thing called midichlorians, and you only have so many, and all the other Jedi were like, okay, whatever, you have your weird... Yoda's like, more just a vague... He's like, I don't know, the Force is just the Force.
Your idea is...
And then Qui-Gon was like, no, there's this thing, this is my idea, there's a amount to it. And they're like, whatever. And so that's why nobody ever mentions it. Outside of, like, Obi-Wan, but I think that's more to honor his late mentor. That's my theory.
Yeah. Qui-Gon reminds me of, like, he's the druggy guy. Like, I feel like he's the guy that, like, went out, and they're like, they suspect, like, Qui-Gon ate too much of the Beskar vines on Callius 7 or something.
In the Jedi group chat. They have, like, the regular one, and then they have one without Qui-Gon, and they all just trash talk Qui-Gon all day.
She's like, yo, Qui-Gon literally, he does spice all day.
Spice all day.
Sits in his...
Doesn't even show up to the meetings. Tries to have 2 Padawans.
Tries to have a chick.
Dude, get out of here.
Come on, guy.
Come on,
Come on, guy.
Finally dies, they delete him from the regular group chat.
Qui-Gon
Thank
is
God.
the group.
Now we can have only one group chat. And then Anakin starts being a baby.
Oh,
Like,
no,
oh, we gotta make a new...
But Mace Windu makes that one.
Mace Windu makes that group chat for sure. There's a Jedi Master group chat. He's not in that one.
Yeah, it's called there's the Council group chat and there's the Jedi Master group chat.
That's why Anakin's mad. He's like, I want to be on the sick group chat, dude. Come on.
But no one sends good memes in the Jedi Council.
Let me be the Master group chat, dude. I want to see those premium memes.
It's always council business in the council chat. I want the Master.
That's what I think happened. For sure.
This all makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Yeah, but you know who's not going to mess up their movie?
Who?
Danny.
Oh, hi, Danny.
Oh, hi, Danny.
That's who he's talking to in the movie. Tommy Wiseau. He's talking to Danny Villeneuve as a kid.
Oh.
I knew it.
Oh, wait. Here, keep talking.
I'll keep talking. I'll talk to you a little bit about our set. Because the set is an interesting thing here that we got going on. We just built this. We got 2 lights. Ethan looks conflicted, ladies and gentlemen. We got two. What?
Keep going.
Okay. We got 2 lights going on here. We might be getting different lights. These work for right now. We have overhead lighting because this is just a room we're in. We have Steven Erickson's Dust of Dreams, a novel.
That's that book I'm reading. I figured we'd pepper something on there.
Got our mic, got our laptop, got a soundproof foam right there. We got this camera set up. I mentioned the soundproof. This is the famous Marjam painting.
Yeah, very famous.
We were speaking of. We're very proud of it. We painted it. And we have a disco ball down here. We want to get that working, but it's not working right now, so it's just kind of aesthetic. And then there's the megaphone in there.
Yeah.
That's all we got. Okay, that's my recap of the new set. We like it. We might get a lamp at some point. Maybe. I don't know where we'd put it. If we put it like that blocks the Marjam.
Yeah. All right, I got another topic for you. Okay. It's a continuation of what you were talking about last week. About like comedy.
Comedy. I love talking about that.
So it's like it's not only like the reference comedy because like I don't know, even like some like if you like reference like good things or like even funny people, like you can have a good time like referencing good comedians, but like with so much censorship and PC culture, like even the funny people aren't allowed to be as funny anymore, and like comedy itself is like just lowering, like, and there's like literally a point you like can't go above, or like it's just not. And that's all these people have. They're inundated with this modern comedy that's just not as funny.
Yeah.
Like you just can't be said as funny, so like they're just not going to be funny people.
Yeah. I was like you, me, and Nathaniel quote John Mulaney all the time.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the last, but even he's like, I don't think his stand-up has gotten tainted. His stuff like Sack Lunch Bunch is still funny.
Well, he's always been, he has that rare talent where you can just kind of be.
Yeah, but I worry sometimes because he's getting big now.
Yeah.
You know, like Tumblr people are looking at John Mulaney and quoting him and stuff. And I'm like, you can't do that. Get away from that.
Get away from him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes me a little nervous, but I think he's still good. But I do agree. I just watched Eddie Burback's video on Late Night. Have you seen that?
Is that the long one?
It's like 23 minutes.
I think I watched that, yeah.
Okay.
Going to bed one night or something.
He talks about, it's like a video by Eddie Burback, and he talks about like the current state of late night.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah, and he's saying like it's just a dying format with like monologues and things like that.
Screw Late Night, bro. Except Conan, dude. Because he's the only funny person. Like, he's the only late night host that actually can, like, make a joke off the top of his head. It'd be funny.
And can hold and he's good at interviewing. He's good at, like, skit remote things. Yeah, Conan's the boy. But he's adapting because he's doing a podcast now. And that's where he does it. Yeah, Conan, he changed the format of his show to where now it's not an hour with 2 guests. It's only a half hour, and he brings on 1 guest. And then he also has an hour-long podcast where he brings on, like, guests, and he has more, like, actual conversations.
Interesting.
So, like, that's an example of him adapting to the new thing. Because podcasts are so big now. Wink.
Yeah. Wink, wink. like and share. It's actually, I feel like, easier to find us now. YouTube is a lot more like...
It's a great thing to...
People like, I don't know, it's so cool.
Yeah, and like SoundCloud that's another thing I wanted to bring up actually. Why did we change to YouTube? First of all, you can upload video on YouTube, and I wanted to see if we could do video. Second of all, it's way easier to upload on YouTube than SoundCloud. And on SoundCloud, you have to pay for an account to get certain number of hours. So like you have to pay for like however long it is. And then you can upload as much as you want. And if you don't, you only have so many hours you can upload. So you have to like delete podcasts, and there's no point. Whereas YouTube, you can just have it for free and upload as many things as you want. And it's easier. So yeah. The last episode took me like 8 hours to upload because it was just so much. So hopefully this one won't take as long to export.
Yeah, no, this will be...
But, yeah. So
I'm not going to give you mega episodes every week, folks. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. This one, we're at like...
You know you have lives.
We're at like 26 minutes right now. So we'll probably do a little more things and then do recommendations and be done. But yeah, references. I should clarify what I said. I don't think referencing is bad. I think if you reference stuff, that's fine.
Yeah.
I reference stuff constantly.
Yeah.
But when that becomes like the main source of your comedy,
as well as you're referencing low quality comedy.
Yeah.
Like and low match made in hell.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what else is fun is inside jokes. I don't like it when people do inside jokes in public. If that makes sense. Like, I could say something to you now, and it's fine. We both get it. Or if we explain it. But, like, dude, I was in class, and there was just, like, I was in class, and there's these two guys, and they were across the room from each other. And they were yelling at each other. Like, dude, do you remember that one time when we were in Texas with the horse? That was crazy. Just, like, yelling. Like, dude, go talk to him. Go.
With the horse? Oh, dude!
Scooter from SpongeBob.
He makes a dude sound, but he sounds like a horse. He's like, dude! No!
But that type of thing. Like, whatever. I'm glad you guys had a great time. But why do you gotta share it with everybody? Go do it somewhere else. That's my thought. I don't have a ton of other... I don't know. I'll think of something else. That's all I can think about comedy.
Ha ha ha. Comedy.
Ha ha. Laugh.
Funny.
At the joke. Well, that's all I gotta say about comedy, so... Unless you have any other talking points. We can jump into...
We could jump into some recommendations.
Okay.
What do you got?
I got a couple. They're on my phone, so I'm gonna try to go off my memory. My phone's recording all this, so...
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to remember. Oh, have you seen The Lure or listened to Suburbs or Skylight or Synecdoche, New York? Write a comment. Let us know what you thought.
Down below.
Because that's another reason why YouTube's great. You can hear right back.
Yeah, you can just be like, I hated this.
So, previously, let us know about that. Ethan, you're going to see Synecdoche, New York sometime soon.
Sometime.
I'll leave that one hanging.
In the future.
Not letting you get off the hook on that one. Yeah, I got a couple. I'll go first. Have you seen... So you might have seen this one already, so if you have, I'll think of a different one. Have you seen The Nice Guys?
No, actually, I haven't seen The Nice Guys.
There it is. Watch The Nice Guys.
I'm wanting to watch The Nice Guys.
That's your recommendation for the week. It is top-tier comedy of all kinds. I'm talking literally every kind of humor is in that movie.
Comedy.
And it all works really well. Doesn't stoop to any lows, of comedy, which a lot of things do.
Yeah, the lows. Stupid.
But, like, this movie makes, like, slapstick funny, which is insanely hard to do in live action. Yeah, excellent performances by Gosling and Crowe. And it feels like one of those movies that should have had a sequel by this point, and it doesn't. Huh. And there's not really rumors for a sequel either. So, in that sense, it's like a little gem, You're like, oh, this is like an untouched thing that could totally have a sequel.
An uncut gem.
An uncut gem. That's not my recommendation, but there you go. But yeah, it's a really great little comedy, and it's really well made. It's super funny. Like, I actually laughed at this movie, and I don't really laugh at a whole lot of films, so this is a solid time. And then music, album. Oh, I was gonna Riley Ritchie, aka
that guy.
Jacob
no penis.
aka Jacob Anderson, aka Grey Worm from Game of Thrones.
No penis boy.
He has an album from a couple years ago called "You're a Man Now, Boy."
Boy.
And it's pretty darn good. I think half of it was produced by the guy that produces all Drake's music, and half was produced by the guy that produces all Kanye's music. This is 2016 we're talking about. So it's two pretty different sounds, but it's all pretty good. Couple highlights. Cowards is like one of my favorite songs I think I've ever heard. I love that song. I'm trying to think of other ones. World Is Mine, that's the first song off of it. There's some good ones on there. You don't have to listen to the whole album, but there's a couple gems on there. And it's by Grey Worm, so.
Grey Worm.
I think he's making a new album pretty soon. He released like a couple singles, but that's relevant. Okay, there's my recommendations.
All right. What shall we witness? Have you seen Green Room?
Yes.
Okay.
With Anton Yelchin.
Yes, with Anton Yelchin.
Seen Green Room.
All right.
I quite liked Green Room. I don't think I want to watch it ever again. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, Green Room's a fun time.
Fun time.
If you like fun movies.
Put that one on with your parents.
I think I have a DVD. I'll let you borrow it. I recommend Ralph Bakshi's Masterpiece Wizards.
Masterpiece Wizards?
It's just called Wizards. But it's a masterpiece.
By
Ralph Bakshi.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Do you know who Ralph Bakshi is?
I've heard the name.
He's like the father of adult animation back in like the 70s. And basically Wizards is just like, it's in the far future basically. The apocalypse happened, like nuclear war, and the whole world got wiped out. Now it's like mutants and like fantasy creatures. So it's like, your classic high fantasy with like, elves in this, a little post-apocalypse flavor. It's animated, and then kind of the evil Dark Lord finds relics of the past, and he finds a bunch of nuclear bombs and like Nazi memorabilia and stuff like that. And he's like, these were the most evil people that ever lived. Like, we shall become them. And so like, it's kind of just like this mixing and mashing of like, kind of like World War II kind of stuff.
Interesting.
And like post-apocalyptic fantasy.
Okay. Got it. Wizards.
It's humorous. It's kind of humor. It's got some comic in there. It's it's just a wacky, wild movie.
Wizards by Ralph Bakshi. Okay. Nice.
And then the album?
Yeah, sure. Or song, or whatever.
You should listen to Harmlessness.
Harmlessness.
By The World is a Beautiful Place, and I am no longer afraid to die. a little mouthful band.
That's the band name?
Yeah.
The world is a beautiful place, and I am too afraid to die.
And I'm no longer afraid to die.
And I'm too afraid to die.
And I'm too afraid to die.
Interesting. Harmlessness. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a song or an album?
That's an album.
Okay.
Very sultry, just a good, like...
Okay.
It's a spring vibes this week. It's a very springy album.
Vibes. It's Groundhog Day, so did you know that they said it's going to be spring rather than winter? They brought the groundhog out.
In February?
Yeah. Like today's Groundhog Day.
What today is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what happened?
They brought the groundhog out and he didn't see his shadow, so it's going to be an early spring.
Is that real, though?
No, of course it's not. Does he really, know?
See,
Well, I think I was reading something that 40% of the time he's right.
40?
40% of the time. The groundhog is actually
right.
Sucks. He's done it for 130 years.
He's wrong more than he's right.
For 130 years?
It's a 50-50 chance. It's a 50-50 chance and he got 40%. That's literally worse than you would naturally get.
If I flipped a coin 132 times, do you think you'd get it right 40% of the time?
That's like taking a test, right?
Yeah.
And, like, if you guessed every answer, the average person would get 50%. But you got them wrong on purpose. Like, you get 10 questions
So 132,
wrong on purpose.
132 question test. He only got 40% of them right.
Yeah.
I guess that's bad.
Yeah.
But for a groundhog? Wait, what am I saying? The groundhog doesn't come out and say, oh, there's my shadow. The people say it. They're like, oh, the groundhog, he's telling me.
Dumb look.
The shadow is there. He told me yesterday. Stupid.
This episode, Ethan and Justin go in on Groundhog Day.
We exposed.
What a useless,
Groundhog Day
stupid,
exposed.
Idiotic holiday.
That's going to be the thumbnail.
Exist.
The thumbnail's us like this, really angry. And there's the groundhog right there.
Oh, wait. Get your real angry face on.
There we go. Okay. Yeah.
I got angry and hit the mic over it, folks. Alright, one more angry thumbnail. Alright, cool.
Cool.
Are you going to be able to comment?
Yeah.
Oh, you could screenshot
I screenshot that and then put the thing in.
You're so smart.
It's also Super Bowl day. As we're recording this, the Super Bowl's later today.
Go Chiefs all the way.
Are you ready for some football? I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah. Chiefs are in it to win it.
They got
I
good...
predicted the last 4 games.
Yeah, that's
true. I'm predicting this one. Chiefs are going to win.
Ethan, who does not watch football regularly, has predicted correctly the past, 4 playoff games.
Well, you know, what can you do, right?
What can you do? We'll let you know how that game goes whenever... Well, I mean, by the time this is up, the game's over. So
yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. They won.
Oh.
Whoever it was.
Whoever it was that won.
That's all I got. We're gonna do more of these with the new set. So keep an eye out for those.
Yeah. Keep an eye on it. Keep it real.
Keep it real. Share the podcast. Drink your vitamins.
And minerals.
And minerals. Don't forget about your minerals.
Do them separately.
Well, could I do them at the same time?
No, you can't have vitamins and minerals.
Why not?
Because that's what they have put in cereal. You have vitamins on its own.
Hold up.
And then minerals.
Can't have vitamins and minerals. That's what they put in the cereal.
Oh wait, can't have the vitamins and minerals. That's what they put in the cereals.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. You see what I'm trying to do. Okay, bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Boy.
Drive home safe.
See ya.
Bye.
Hasta buco.